You know, if you guys go to seaversracing.com, you guys can check out my website and read my story. Someone came to me one day and said, you know, Brad, all these people ask you why you spend the money, why you spend 4 or 5 days on the road running dirt track modifieds or doing this stuff or working on race teams, working for Polaris, and all hours we do in the winter. No one really understood, and my friend's like, I think you need to tell your story, Brad. You need to explain what racing really means to you. Back in 1991, I went in drug and alcohol rehab. Been clean ever since, but it's always a struggle with addictions, anything like that. I found racing. I went and bought a dirt bike, went to an ice oval race, did well, and met this group of people who there was no drugs. There was very little drinking. There was just focus, fun, and more of a family environment, which I was kind of missing throughout my childhood. So I got into racing, and then before you know it was just racing on Sundays, and it was racing on Fridays, Saturdays, and then it was racing as much as I possibly could, no matter what, because this camaraderie of racing is what helps me stay clean and sober every single day. Being a part of it or racing myself. And, you know, I worked for R.J. Anderson. I worked for, you know, so many other big racers. You know, I worked for the Polaris Race Department, and I just love helping people and doing it. So that is how racing has helped me stay clean and sober. So when I released the story a little over a year ago, it went crazy. People were reaching out with their stories, and people who are struggling with addiction. So I've been trying to help out as many people I can, and I'm not a certified counselor or nothing. I'm just a guy who understands what you're going through, and I try to give people inspiration to follow what is going to help them. So I give them little cues and tips and things that I do to help me when I'm in situations that might make me feel like I'm used again. And you know, and people don't understand that without racing, I don't know what I would do to stay clean and sober, because I wouldn't have that focus, that drive. And to be around these athletes, you know, I got some of the most talented drivers as teammates. You know, Drew Schultz, you know, Travis Pointer, Jason Looper, Mitch Guthrie. I mean, these guys are very talented. So I'm not really sure why they asked me to be on the team, but I try to do as much as I can to help them out. And being part of this is just awesome. The Wednesday before ERX, I had a visitor fly up from Indianapolis. It was a young lady who was struggling with meth addiction. And I've known this young lady since she was about 11 or 12 years old. Her father is huge in the snowcross world, and me being with Polaris, so me and him have been friends for a long time. He calls me up. He says, hey, I love my daughter. She's an awesome person, but I don't know what to do. She's living on the streets of Indianapolis, and I don't want to send her any money. She's just going to use it. And I don't know what to do, Brad. Can you just have a talk with her? So I sent her a text message. The text message simply said, when you're fighting a war, you can't do it alone. That's all I sent her. So then that was on a Friday before ERX. I let it go a day, and on Sunday I'm like, you know, I says I could really use some help up at ERX. I go there, typically I go to the races by myself, and I said I could use some help. I said, would you be willing? She goes, oh, I would love to, but I don't know how to get there. I said, no problem. Give me the address you're standing right now. We sent the cab to pick her up and said, all you do is fly up here. I said, I got you covered. You know, and that took a couple days to get her up here. But she made that choice to get on that plane. And let me tell you what, when you're an addict and you make that one step forward, I knew I had a chance with this girl. And you know, my wife is huge on, you know, I talked to her and my stepdaughter first to make sure it was okay with them, and they said, yeah. So we brought her up here, and I did a video on Wednesday night, and it has reached over 23,000 people. And it has given this girl so much hope, you know, and so much, just something she never had. And she's been using it since she was, I believe, 15 years old. And she hasn't felt like this. And there's complete strangers, you know, telling her that she's got this, that if she needs anything to reach out. That's what Seavers Racing is all about, and that's what Racing for Recovery is, and that's what I'm all about.